A lifeguard is the trained person who watches over bathers, prevents accidents, provides first aid, and rescues those in peril of drowning who are in or around recreational water areas, such as beaches, rivers, lakes, and pools. Many times, people that visit these areas do not know how to swim or avoid dangerous situations. The lifeguards can help prevent these situations using their knowledge of the beach, ocean currents, and other dangers. The education of the public is a big part of the lifeguard's work, along with rescuing and training of the lifeguard. We're going to start this discussion talking about the security of the lifeguard. There is nothing more important.
If the area is not safe and the lifeguard enters, we may end up with 2 victims instead of 1. This video demonstrates how to recognize a victim, perform a rescue, signal if you need additional help, and personal defense in the water. First, you have to have confidence in your own ability and know how to act in the water. Float in the water using the minimum amount of energy possible. Stay calm. Breathe slowly and deeply. Use your arms and your legs to help maintain your face above water. Use a scissor kick to propel yourself up in the water and do circular movements with your arms. You need to practice these regularly to learn how to float effectively. Second, it is necessary to know how to swim. Begin training using freestyle swim stroke. While swimming, it is important to maintain your arms straight, stretching towards the front. Your head should stay underwater. Freestyle is modified during a rescue. Keep your head above water so that you can maintain visual contact with the victim. This modification is difficult and requires much practice so that you can swim rapidly in this way. The second technique is the side stroke.
This technique allows one arm to propel you through the water, while the other arm can drag the victim. The scissor kick is used. This kick allows you to use your hip to keep the victim afloat and maintain the victim parallel to the water. Now we are going to discuss the personal defense techniques in the water that can be used to avoid the victim drowning the lifeguard.
Sometimes victims try to grab the lifeguard in an attempt to use them as a buoy. It is important to stay calm when this happens.
Wrist grab.
The lifeguard should pull his arm in the direction of the victim's fingers instead of the palm of the victim. In this way, you can get out of the victim's grasp. The pull should be made towards the lifeguard's chest to avoid hitting oneself in the head. You can use your leg to push the victim while pulling your arm away. It is also important to practice how to get out of a two-handed hold as well as the one-handed hold. Front choke hold. When the victim is in front of the lifeguard and tries to grab hold of the lifeguard should push on the victim's chest at the same time protecting the airway by putting the chin to the shoulder. This way, the lifeguard can slip out of the victim's grasp. It is important that the lifeguard stays underwater until the lifeguard is out of the victim's reach. This way, you can avoid the victim trying to grab the lifeguard again. Rear chokehold. When the victim is found behind the lifeguard and tries to grab a hold of the lifeguard from behind, the lifeguard should breathe deep in preparation to go underwater. Bring the chin to the shoulder to protect the airway. Identify which of the victim's arms is lowest. Grab and pull the elbow and the wrist of this arm back and down towards the back of the victim. At this point, the lifeguard can either let go of the victim or proceed with the rescue. To proceed with the rescue, you let go of the elbow, maintaining the hold on the wrist. Use the free arm to reach across the victim's chest and hold into the armpit. Let go of the wrist and begin to swim. Types of victims. Recognition of possible victims. The majority of the drowning victims are not able to ask for help. A very important skill of the lifeguard is the ability to recognize a person who may need help. The first question that the lifeguard should ask himself is, can this person sustain themselves in the water? Or, what is the mode most effective and safe to help this person? It is important to understand that there are types of victims. First type, victim in distress. The tired swimmer who is too tired and has difficulty reaching the shore or the side of the pool, but is not in immediate danger. This person can sustain themselves and ask for help, but they do need assistance, and they can quickly progress to an active drowning victim. The second type of victim, active drowning victim. This person is unable to stay afloat, breathe, or ask for assistance. This person tries desperately to stay at the surface. Their body is practically vertical. The head is back and the hands flail above the head. This person has very little time and needs emergency rescue. The third type of victim is a passive drowning victim. This person is floating face down on the surface or is below the surface of the water. They may or may not have a head, neck, or back injury. Rescue techniques. When a victim is at or near the surface of the water, the lifeguard must rescue the victim quickly and carefully. The technique of the rescue depends on the victim's condition. If the victim is not breathing, the lifeguard must decide whether to continue with the rescue or begin rescue breathing. This decision depends on many variables: the condition of the victim, the waves, the water temperature, your personal physical condition, and the distance to a safe place. This decision must be made quickly because time is of the essence. Rescue of a passive victim, unconscious or calm. When you get close to the victim that is floating face down, reach to the opposite arm and pull up to turn the victim's body face up. Use your forearm to stop the momentum of the victim's body. Grab the victim's chin and pull the victim until the victim's body is parallel to the surface. When the victim's body is parallel, the lifeguard pulls the victim towards him, lets go of the chin grab, reaches across the chest, and holds onto the victim's armpit. It is important to maintain the lifeguard's hip under the victim's back to maintain the victim afloat. The lifeguard uses the scissor kick to swim with the victim. Rescue of an active victim. When you near the victim, be cautious and avoid getting close enough so the victim can grab you. Submerge below the water, turn the victim so that their back is towards you, grab the victim's legs firmly and rise, holding the victim firmly until you can do a chin grab. Pull the victim until the victim's body is parallel to the water. Once the victim is parallel, the lifeguard lets go of the chin grab, reaches across the victim's chest, and holds onto the victim's armpit. Keep the hip in the victim's back to help the victim stay afloat. The lifeguard uses a scissor kick to swim with the victim. Hand signals. Hand signals help facilitate communication between the lifeguard performing a rescue and other lifeguards on the beach. The signals should be exaggerated movements so that they can be easily seen from the beach. A hand touching the head or forming a circle over the head signals that the situation is under control or everything is okay. A straight arm stretched upward indicates the lifeguard needs assistance. An arm wave signals that the victim is having difficulty breathing and will need resuscitation. Crossed arms signal that the victim is underwater and the lifeguard should prepare for an underwater search. This lifeguard training video is brought to you by the American Red Cross Volunteer Life Saving Corps, whose members are dedicated to excellence in training and service.